How many screenplays have you sold?
Sold? I haven't sold any. I've sold a couple shorts, which is bizarre to me that there's a market for shorts, but apparently there's even, I've heard of some actually big sales of shorts. In fact, one of the people who has one of my features optioned right now, they got their start working for a producer who was making short films for like Sony. And they were giving him like $100,000 budgets on each of these short films that he was making. Yeah, I'm like, I don't know what they did with a $100,000 short film at that point, but there's apparently a market for them. So I've sold 2 shorts. I've been hired to write a bunch of shorts. I've optioned. I currently have 3 features that are out on option, but total I've optioned 7 features that I've had optioned, but then they didn't turn into sales. I know one of them was because like they couldn't get the director that they wanted, and they basically had in their mind it was that director or nobody sort of thing. So one had optioned a thriller script of mine, and then when they were looking for investments, they found an investor to give them like a very large sum of money, but only if it was for a slate of family-friendly features, and mine did not fit the bill. So it unfortunately went away. But yeah, I've got, of the 3 that are currently optioned, 2 of them are supposed to turn into sales within the next couple of months. So I'm hoping that works out. But yeah, so far I don't have any like full-on feature sales as of today. So
can you explain the optioning process?
Sure. So an option is kind of like a rent-to-own sort of scenario. You see like those, if you go on Craigslist looking for an apartment or something, they'll have like lease-to-own sort of things on like condos and stuff. So it's sort of that situation where they will pay you an obscenely small amount of money, sometimes as little as $1, to have the rights to the script for between 6 months and a year usually. So that way you can't be shopping around to other people. So they know they're the only person who has the ability to make that movie, and they're going around trying to find either talent or investments or both, so that then they can raise the money to make the movie. If they succeed, then they will buy the script from you so that then they can make it. If they don't succeed, their options are to either A, renew the option for a slightly less low amount of money. So if it was $1 the first time around, it might be like, okay, now we got to pay you like $500, in order to get like an additional year. Or they can just be like, okay, we couldn't get it done. It's yours again. Do what you want with it. So I've had scripts that after that first year, they couldn't do anything with it, so it's mine again. One of the 3 that I've optioned right now, they've renewed the option like 3 times. So I don't know what, I know they've had like different successes and failures with it along the way. So I'm hoping that they get more successes, but until then I'm getting money every year just for them to keep being able to shop it around sort of thing. So yeah, that's what an option is. They pay you a little amount to have the rights to shop it around, and then, which is slightly different from a shopping agreement, because in a shopping agreement, unless it's an exclusive shopping agreement, like you could still potentially sell to other people. Even an exclusive shopping agreement, they are getting the rights to like bring it around, but they can only bring it to like select people. They can't just like blanket the town with it under a shopping agreement. They have to go to specific either investors or networks, or depending on if it's TV or feature. Like I have one of my scripts out on a shopping agreement, and then I have a shopping agreement that I own on a book that I wanted to adapt.
Oh, nice.
So for the shopping agreement, there was like no money, and I can only shop it around to specific people. Like I can't even tell people what the script is unless it's a producer who can get it made. So everyone knows that, I wrote an adaptation, but they're like, why can't you tell me what it is? Because my shopping agreement is that I can only shop it to people who can buy it. So nobody else can even know it exists, other than knowing that I wrote it, and they can't know what the script is to then go find the book or anything like that. So, and it's a similar thing on the script that I have out with a producer. It's on a shopping agreement, is that they can only talk about it to investors or other producers. Like they can't even try to get like a star or anything like that until it's either an option agreement or a sale. So, yeah.
And where does one submit for these optioning opportunities?
So there's lots of ways to do that. There's a bunch of websites that have producers that are looking for specific stuff that you can pitch things to. Like there's Inktip, ISA, Screenwriting Staffing. Mandy used to, but I think they kind of backed off on doing script stuff. I think it's mostly actors now for Mandy. But they're like, you pay a certain amount of money either like every month or every quarter to basically get a newsletter from them of producers that are looking for specific things. Then you pitch your stuff to them, and then if they dig it, then they'll option it or buy it. And if not, then they say thanks but no thanks. You can pitch stuff in query letters, query emails mostly now. You get like an IMDb Pro account. You can gain access to not all of them, but a large amount of industry people. You can get like their email or phone number, at least of where they work. Like if you want to go after like a rep, like if you want to go like to, like ATA or something, you can get like the contact information for the company. Producers, a lot of times the producers will have like contact for their production company, and then they might even have their own personal contact on there. So you send them query letters, and it's the same sort of thing. If they like it, great. If not, oh well. Meeting people in person, doing networking. One of my things that I optioned was through a Craigslist ad. So there's lots of different avenues to find the producers, to get your stuff out there.
Yeah, I always say Craigslist can be like the most amazing experience or horrific.
Yeah.
It's
a lot of
it's
people
really
trash talk Craigslist because there's so many scams on Craigslist. There's a lot of things out there but as long as you're
there can be
vetting,
some great stuff. Yeah.
I have a producer I met on there who has now hired me to write like 7 short films. Only 2 of them got produced that I know of. But I would, because it's a short, there's not a whole lot of money, but it's like, that's stuff I can pump out in a day, basically, to write like a little 5-page thing for him, and make a little cash to, pay for gas that week, So,
yeah, that's nice.
And then like, it's also, as long as you're vetting the people, making sure that they're not some like schmuck who's like, oh yeah, I'm going to make a movie, IMDb, whether you have the pro version or if you're just IMDbing someone, you can still find out like what they've done. Google, of course, you can just Google people, look them up on, like do like a search for them on like Variety or Deadline or anything like that. You can find out if they have a track record of any kind, or if there's somebody making their very first script or movie. And even if they are making their very first movie, that doesn't necessarily mean they're going to scam you. It means they haven't done anything yet, and those can be very good relationships too. You get in with somebody who it's their very first script that they're going to be producing. They may not have the budget to do like some big sale and big production movie and stuff, but you get in, it's still a produced credit, which is much better than not having a produced credit. Even if it's a terrible movie, having that credit is more useful to you than like just holding on to your babies and not, selling your stuff or shopping your stuff around.
And I always find too, if the urgency of how fast somebody wants you to do something, if it's like, it's got to be now or never, that's a red flag.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, I get things move quickly, but
right.
if you're getting like a weird feeling and they're talking in circles, sometimes that's a red flag.
There's definitely people who are doing the fake it till you make it sort of stuff. When I was still living in Michigan, I'm not going to name any names, but when I was living in Michigan, there was a producer who had that sort of thing where like, oh, we have to sign this now. And it just wasn't a good deal. And they were going to like get way more out of it than I ever would have, and they hadn't done anything. And they were like, I don't even know if some of the things they were saying are true or not, but like they were making like outlandish claims, like the outlandish claims of who they had deals with, of like distributor companies and stuff that they already had like first look deals with and stuff like that, which may have been true, you never know, but it's one of those things that like it didn't seem true. And when I looked them up, there was nothing to support their claims.
Yeah, that's a big red
right.
flag.
Doesn't necessarily mean it wasn't true, because like I was mentioning before the cameras were rolling, like there's a writer that I know who he makes like $300,000 per draft. But if you looked him up on IMDb, he only has 2 produced credits, but he's written on like hundreds of things, or Carrie Fisher. If you looked her up on IMDb, you see all her acting stuff. You don't really see any writing stuff, but she was like one of the biggest, ghost writers in town, being paid to like do touch-ups and stuff. And she was getting paid very well to fix these scripts, but you would never know it by looking up on IMDb, So people could make claims that are totally true and you just can't find any information on it.
That is
But
true.
if you can't find any information on it, it's probably not.
Right, but then, like you said, then the urgency, and then if it's like confusing and
Also,
it shouldn't be confusing.
Yeah, be looking at the deals and have a lawyer look at the deals too. You can like attorneys. If it's an attorney that if you think you're going to have a long relationship with the attorney, you can probably convince them to do a percentage deal as opposed to paying them hourly. That's what I have with my attorney who does all my contracts. I've been with him since 2013 now. And he gets, a percentage of anything I make from any of these deals, which for him could be a ton of money if I hit something big. Like if I were to sell my James Hook script to like Warner Brothers and get paid like $1 million, and his 5% of that $1 million is a crap load of money. Whereas if nothing happens, he doesn't get any money. So it's kind of like a risk on his part too, but one that he was willing to make because he saw potential of having deals in the future. And I at this point I'm like I need one of those big deals so I can give him his 5% can be more money than paying his rent for a month or something. So sure. Like the man deserves to live wealthy, because he busts his butt to get me good deals and make sure that I don't sign anything that is not signable. So having attorneys are indispensable. Even if you have to pay one hourly, if you're gonna have a deal that you're gonna make few $1,000 on or something like that, it might be worth it to pay somebody like $100 an hour to look this over, make sure that you're not signing your soul away for pennies,
Right. $100 an hour? That's how inexpensive?
Oh, I've seen most. So if you get like an entertainment lawyer, they could be as low as $100 an hour. They could be as high as $500 an hour. It kind of depends. You kind of got to shop around just like you would, with any rep. Or like I said, my guy, I know my guy, if I didn't have his 5%, his rate's $130 an hour, which is still not bad when, most of these things or whatever. But the thing is though, you can't really pressure him into doing everything 1 hour, like you send him like an 11-page contract, you're not going to get, even if it's $100 an hour, you're going to be paying at least $300, I guarantee it, so it's one of those things you just kind of got to wait, if it's going to be like a little dollar option thing, maybe not, but yeah, lawyers are indispensable because they're the ones who are going to find all the stuff that is a big red flag that you would never know because all this legalese, it talks in circles. I understand some of it now that I've had enough contracts over the years, so I know things to look out for, but there's still stuff that my attorney and their attorney will be having red lines back and forth that I have no idea why this is a bad thing and why I shouldn't sign. But if my attorney is saying no, then no. And it's harder now because, before it was either late 2013 or early 2014, they changed the laws a little bit with what attorneys can even do for you. Because it used to be my lawyer was able to talk directly to the producers, on these deals, and they could just discuss the contract between themselves. I could just sit back, let them do their job. But then the law changed, like I said, I can't remember if it was end of 2013 or beginning of 2014, where now he can't. He can do all the redlining on the contract, but he's not even allowed to take a phone call with the producer that I'm working on because it'll count as him doing an agent's work at that point.
Okay.
It's all like I have a deal right now that the producer isn't really understanding that. He's getting very angry that my attorney won't talk to him. But it's like it's not that he won't talk to you. He can't legally talk to you. And it's one of those things that he could talk to you and like risk everything by doing this.
Sure.
It's just like if you're talking on the cell phone while you're driving, you're making a risk that you're going to get arrested for that. Or pay a bill. It's one of those things you kind of got to weigh your risks and options. And my attorney will not cross that boundary just in case kind of thing.